All right, we're adding and subtracting one-step equations. So do you think we're going to be multiplying or dividing?
Divided.
We're adding and subtracting one-step equations. So are you going to be multiplying and dividing?
Adding and subtracting.
No, we are adding and subtracting. So just like it sounds, you are just adding or subtracting. It is a one-step equation, which is just like it sounds as well. It means you're taking one step to get to your answer. So you will only be taking one step. That's it. And then you have your answer. Okay. So it's the same type of equation that we had yesterday when we had our coins and pouches. Just a little bit simpler. So I have an equation which we all know is a number sentence that has an equal sign somewhere in there. And then the solution to that equation is your answer. It's what makes that equation true. So once you find your solution, your answer, you've got to check your solution as well. So if you find out that the answer is 2, you need to make sure that that answer is 2. So it's two-part. Find your answer, check it. Okay. First, before we get started, somebody tell me what the inverse of addition is. What does inverse mean again? Opposite. So what is the inverse of addition? Subtraction. What is the inverse of subtraction? Addition. So in order to undo something, you have to do the opposite of it, which would mean do the inverse of it. Okay. So we're going to be using those inverses a lot. Alright, so I've got n plus 6 equals 8. So remember, my goal is to get n by itself. I want n on one side of that equal sign and then a number on the other side. So what am I doing to get rid of this 6? You're going to subtract 6 from both sides because this is a positive 6. It's a plus 6. I'm doing the opposite, which would be to subtract 6. If I do it to the left, I have to do it to the right. Okay. And then n plus 6 minus 6, what does that whole side leave me with?
0.
The whole side is 0?
No.
It's n, right? That is 0. 6 minus 6 is 0, but I still have an n. And then what's 8 minus 6? 2. So n equals 2. I want to make sure that n is 2. So I'm going to check it. By checking it, that means you're taking this original equation and you're plugging that answer back in for the n. Okay. So I still have n plus 6 equals 8, but I said that n is 2, so we're going to see if it is. So 2 plus 6 equals 8. Yes. Does 2 plus 6 equal 8? Yes. So you're making sure that the whole left side is completely equal to the right side. Okay. This part is important. You actually have to add the 2 plus 6. Yes, it's easy here, but if you have larger numbers, a lot of students write it down and then they say 8 equals 8. Check. Got it right. They just assume that they did it right. It's important that you actually do that operation to make sure you are doing it right. Because if you have 5 plus 6 here equals 8, that does not equal 8. So that should tell you that you need to go back over here and fix something that you did. Okay. Yes. Alright, number 2, I've got 7 equals y plus 2. If I'm solving for y, how do I get y by itself? Take away 2 from both sides. So that leaves me with a y on the right and what on the left? 5. So 5 equals y. If I'm checking it, that means I should have 7 equals 5 plus 2. So what is 5 plus 2? 7. So it checks out. Any questions so far? Okay, number 3, I've got m plus 5 equals 3. So in order to get m by itself, what do I need to do here? Yeah, I want to take away 5. So I'm doing the opposite of plus 5, and I'm subtracting 5. So I'm left with m equals what? What is 3 minus 5? Negative 2. If I check it, that means it should be negative 2 plus 5. And that should give me 3. So is negative 2 plus 5 3?
Yes.
Yes. Different sign subtract, so 5 minus 2 gives me 3, and it stays positive because 5 is larger. Alicia, I have your notes because I didn't have enough copies. So just pay attention, but I will give this to you when I'm finished. Okay. Alright, what about number 6? Or number 4, sorry. Negative 2 equals a plus 6. What do I need to do? Remember, I want to get a by itself, so that means I need to do something with this number.
Subtract 6.
Need to do the opposite, so subtract 6. So what is negative 2 minus 6?
8. Negative 8.
Negative 8. Yeah, remember that's the same as saying negative 2 plus negative 8. I mean negative 6, sorry. So negative 8 equals 8. So if I'm checking it, that means negative 2 should equal negative 8 plus 6. So what is negative 8 plus 6? Negative 2. Any questions? Flip over. Do I need to do number 5?
No.
That one's kind of easy. What about number 6? What am I doing there?
You take away the 6 from 1, or 1 from subtract 6 from both.
Not quite. I want to get C by itself, right?
Add 6.
So that means you're doing the opposite of minus 6, which would be plus 6. So then what's negative 1 plus 6? 5. Positive 5.
6 plus 6 is C. No. C.
This is negative 6 plus 6, so those cancel.
Oh, yeah. 5.
So if I'm checking it, that means negative 1 should equal 5 minus 6. So what is 5 minus 6? Negative 1. Questions? Okay. What about number 8? M minus 8 equals negative 9. 3. What am I doing?
You have to add the 8s.
Yeah.
You have to add add 8 to both sides.
Yes.
And then work out the minus 8 and plus 8. And then M equals 1.
What type of 1?
Negative.
Negative 1, because 9 is larger than 8. So when we check it, M is negative 1, so that means I'm plugging in negative 1 right there. So negative 1 minus 8 equals negative 9. So you're just copying that problem down. You're just plugging the 1 in, the negative 1 in for M. So then what's negative 1 minus 8? Negative 9. Remember that this, you circle, becomes a negative 8. You add that plus sign in between. So negative 9 checks out. So the answer is correct. Alright, now we have a word problem, which for some reason scares a lot of us. You just have to read it and figure out what is important. What are they telling you that you need? So it says the average lifespan of a tiger is 17 years. This is 3 years less than the average lifespan of a lion. Write and solve an equation to find the average lifespan of a lion. So what am I finding again? The average lifespan of a lion. Do I know what that is? No. So what do I do? What do I use when I don't know a variable? When I don't know a value? A variable. So we're going to let that stand for X. I know that the average lifespan of a tiger is 17. They tell me that that is 3 years less than the average lifespan of a lion. So how would I say 3 years less than the average lifespan of a lion? Tony. Not quite. All I'm looking for is 3 years less than the average lifespan of a lion. What did I say was the lifespan of a lion? X. So this is all X. So then how do I say 3 years less than X?
3 minus 3 subtract X, or X subtract 3.
X subtract 3. Remember that less than is that turnaround word. So that means to flip it. So it should be X minus 3. And then what should that be equal to? 17. So there's my equation. Now I need to solve for X so I can find out what the average lifespan of a tiger is, or of a lion is. So how do I solve that? Free.
You have to add 3 to the left and the right side.
Yep, add 3 to both sides.
And then that would equal 20.
So the average lifespan of a lion is 20 years. Yes.
17 plus 3 is less.
Yes, but it's asking you to solve an equation. So write and solve an equation. So that's why you got to give me the equation.
Is 20 years an actual lifespan of a lion?
I have no idea. No, I did not. I think I got it from the book. I think. Somewhere. Maybe I made it up. I don't know. I did it last year. Questions? Are we good? So what number are you trying to do the opposite of? The number that's by itself or the number that is with the variable?
The number that is with the variable.
The number that's with the variable, right? Because I want that variable to be by itself. So I don't want to subtract 17 from both sides because that would leave me with nothing over here. So you're always wanting to do whatever the opposite is of the number that is with that variable. Okay. Are you solving and checking every question? Yes. Your homework is right there on the board, which I'll write it up here in a second. You got page 211, numbers 9 through 24. Solving and checking.